So, welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is BoogieSnacks. You can go ahead and call me Boogie, and today we're going to be going over all of the manga I have been reading in the month of May and a little bit of June that we're already in because, let's face it, I lagged it a little bit on this video. Now, these are some of my absolute favorite types of videos to make, and wait, hold on. Why am I still wearing a jacket? I always do this. I always stop work, and then I keep wearing this darn jacket for these darn meetings that I keep having. Look, I'm even wearing a little one-piece shirt that's sort of like my rebellion against corporate America. So hold on, this is ridiculous. Hold on, let me take this thing off really quickly. Hold on. Okay, that feels a lot better. Now, like I was saying before, have you ever had one of those months where you seemingly sort of slip and fall and end up reading like a bunch of manga off of your TBR list? Because if that's the case, we had a very similar month. But before we go ahead and jump on into today's video, I want to know from you at home watching the video, what are some manga series that you have been reading recently? It's one of my favorite parts about making these types of videos is getting to share my journey and also following along with your journey of reading manga. So I can't wait to see those titles down below in the comment sections, and I'll see you there after the video. But enough jibber jabber, I've done enough talking. Let's go ahead and get this video started. I'll see you in just a sec. Right, so welcome back. Now, I thought what better way to kick off this video with a few volumes that just scream summer. So let's talk about how I finished 4 volumes of Grand Blue Dreaming, and I am definitely making my way through this series. And guys, if you haven't checked out Grand Blue Dreaming before, this series is so good. Now, if you haven't heard about Grand Blue Dreaming, let's go ahead and dive on into the series. Pun intended. Grand Blue Dreaming is definitely a series about diving, so there's a lot of fun facts that you'll learn about just aquatic life in general and just scuba diving and precautions and safety. The romance aspect and just the youthful college, aspect about this series there's something to be said for that. And honestly, I really enjoy the time period in which this is in, not necessarily like current day or in the past or anything like that, but where the characters are in their lives and where the story takes place. I think all of it is just really well done. The one caveat that I should mention that might just cancel this series for a lot of you is that it does have some etchiness, but I will say that the etchiness doesn't really take away from the story, which I feel like that's the main problem that a lot of people have with etchiness, is that it just completely takes away from the story. That's really not the case with Grand Blue Dreaming, and honestly, there have been a few times that I can think in just recent memory that I have laughed out loud while reading this series. So right now there are currently 12 volumes out in English, so this is a series you definitely can get into and it's still ongoing. So it is a series you can invest a little bit of your time into, and I hope that you do. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on Grand Blue Dreaming down below. Is this a series that you already know and love? Is this a series that maybe you checked out and you didn't like or you're interested in checking out? Let me know down below, and let's quickly move on to the next series. So let's get these off the shelf. This may be one of my new favorite series, at least going within my top 10. You ever have an experience where you read something and you cry not from joy or sadness, but just because you relate so much to the story? That happened to me while binge reading this series. Let's talk about the first 2 omnibuses, volumes 1 to 4 of Blue Giant. Now, Blue Giant as a series, the backdrop sets, and we are following the main character who is in high school discovering his love for jazz music and studying jazz culture. Sign me up for that. I mean, that was literally me when I was younger at music school in college. It's been a minute since I've enjoyed a series in the music genre in manga that I thought would be better than Beck, Mongolian Chomp Squad. For me, Beck was sort of like top tier music category, Beck and perhaps Kids on the Slope. Blue Giant, within the first 4 volumes, quickly just shot through the roof, bypassing all of them by a landslide. Now, what I like about this series so much is that there are so many references to practicing and actually showing the musician workflow throughout the series. Not only do they show you and introduce music theory terms that I've never seen in any other manga, like Dorian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, major thirds, minor seconds, you name it, let alone the emphasis on actual practicing your craft as a musician and what it would actually take to become a professional jazz artist, and is it even worth it to become a professional jazz artist? All of these difficult conversations are tackled within this story within the first 2 omnibuses. This series might not actually be for a lot of you watching, but if you are at all creatively inclined, I highly recommend you check out Blue Giant. All right, guys, this video is sponsored by RightstufAnime.com. Rightstuf is an anime and manga online retail shop known for their competitive pricing and phenomenal packaging. Now through the end of July, Rightstuf is offering a deal for the BoogieSnacks community to get some free blind boxes in with your next order. Now the codes work as following. For all orders $10 and above, use code BoogieSummer1. For all orders $30 and above, use code BoogieSummer5. And for orders $60 and higher, use code BoogieSummer10. Once again, Rightstuf will throw in some free blind boxes in with your next manga haul or purchase over at Rightstuf. My gift to you guys, happy reading this summer. And for everyone that wants to go ahead and support the channel, my affiliate links are down below. All of you that keep smashing that link every month, thank you from the bottom of my heart. The little bit goes a long way. All right, back to the video. All 4 volumes that I reread because I just wanted to of watsukoi, probably my favorite romance, like rom-com series that's going on right now. Okay, so these are the 4 volumes of watsukoi. Now, I've talked about watsukoi a lot on this channel. I feel like I don't really need to go too much into it, but if you've never seen any one of my videos before, let's talk about what watsukoi is and why I love it so much. This series is one that I typically recommend the older audience just because of how relatable the series is, especially if you've ever worked or currently working at some sort of office job or corporate setting. The premise is absolutely adorable. The premise is so adorable. It basically is following these 2 office workers who are weebs. They're literally weebs. This one has more of a focus on video games, and she's more of like your otaku slash like going to conventions sort of girl. And you following their journey of basically falling in love, and it's also having that trope of them being childhood friends and then getting reunited in adulthood. I love that trope, by the way. On top of being just amazingly hilarious and remarkably relatable, you just can't help but find yourself rooting for the 2 main characters and the supporting cast of characters to just fall in love through a series of events. It just ends up being such an addicting read. All right, so this might be one of my favorite parts of the video. Let's talk about me getting current again with Black Clover. Now, we're not going to get into spoilers about Black Clover because obviously the manga is way ahead of the anime, but oh my god, is it so good, you guys. Black Clover, where it is right now in the manga, is at such a hype spot, so I obviously can't wait to the end of the month to get the next chapter going for Black Clover. But knowing me, I like to binge read at least a few chapters. It's really hard to be satisfied with just one, so I'll probably catch up with Black Clover again at the end of July. So those are my thoughts on Black Clover without spoilers. From the first chapter to where we are now, I think there has been so much improvements, and it really is such a great ongoing shonen. I really recommend it. If you're into shonen at all, give Black Clover a shot. Now, if you're not going to be into the Magic Knight premise and that sort of thing, then yeah, okay, this series isn't really going to be for you, but Shonen Jump has a lot of other stuff to offer at that point. All right, so really quickly for this next one, we're going to just blow past this one simply because we've talked about it before on these monthly series, these monthly read series before, but let's talk about me reading the last chapter in the 3-in-1 editions for Shaman King. I reread it in preparation for the next omnibus to come out, and I do that, by the way. Let me know if you guys do that. If it's been a minute since you've read a chapter or a volume of something, when the next one is about to get released, do you guys do a little refresher course like I do, or am I the only one? Anyways, let me know. Shaman King is one of my all-time favorite series. I've talked about it on this channel before, and I think after the second omnibus and after I get through that one, I'm honestly thinking that there's a video in my heart to make on Shaman King. I haven't quite settled on the topic of it or how I'm going to sort of attack a video of Shaman King, so I haven't figured out the angle yet, but in my heart, I feel the need to make a video for Shaman King, even if it's just for myself. I don't really care if it does too well on the channel or not. I'm feeling a video for Shaman King, so we'll dive into it in a separate video, but this is one of my all-time favorite manga series. It's a bundle of nostalgia, amazing character development, and just overall addicting plot to read. The basic premise is we have our main character here, who is Yo, who is training to be the next, well, Shaman King, this is a tournament arc themed shonen that is incredibly well done. It's a little old school, so you might have to deal with a little bit of the old school art and references and whatnot, but it does not take away at all from the story. In fact, I think a lot of people should give Shaman King a chance if they haven't. Okay, so quickly, moving on. Last series of the video is one that I'll share with you. I actually haven't opened it. It's on my nightstand. I'll be reading it tonight, but I wanted to just include it in the video and we'll talk about it more in depth. Next one, which is the first volume of Soul Eater, The Perfect Editions. Now, if you've been with me at all on this channel before, you know that I read the first volume itself of Soul Eater, which inspired me to wait and pick up a few volumes of the Perfect Editions here. And I believe they have, it's 1.5 in these Perfect Editions. So I will get a little bit ahead and I have 2 more to dive into. So I'm eagerly awaiting my official start of the Soul Eater series. And I already have volume 4 pre-ordered, so it will come to my house when it is released. That about wraps it up. That's a lot of manga that I read this month. My average reads for months are like anywhere between like 2 to 5 volumes. This just blew right past that. And I think that's healthy. I think some months we read a lot, some months we don't read a lot. And this was definitely a peak for me. I don't know if it was a new record. I think there's been months where I've read more than this, but this one definitely felt really, really fulfilling. So with that being said, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up here. If you'd like to go ahead and support the channel, go ahead and mash that like button down below. It lets me know that you're watching at home and I can continue to make more content just like this. And of course, as always, nothing has changed. If you'd like to stick around for more content, go ahead and mash that subscribe button. We would love to have you in the community. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night.